Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon. Hope everyone is doing fine. अभी हमारे पास 3 minutes हैं. You can unmute and tell about your wellness. सभी ठीक हैं?
नमस्ते मैम।
नमस्कार, नमस्कार. कैसे हैं आप लोग?
अच्छे हैं मैम।
बहुत बढ़िया, बहुत बढ़िया. That's so good. Good to see you all. Again, I'll request in these 1 or 2 minutes to please leave whatever you are doing just for half an hour. If something is very urgent, then you can continue. If you're comfortable leaving your work, any other work, for just half an hour to work on our mindfulness together and join me mentally alert and feel very comfortable, please. Namaskar to all the principals, Captain Pillai, namaskar. So now it's a time whenever we join in any of the session, if we join early, that shows you are mindful enough to join on time. That says that you have settled all your work and which reminds you to join on time. You keep all your any unforeseen contingencies that might arise in the last minute, any technical issues. So you keep these 1 or 2 minutes in your hands to overcome those. That's so nice of you all. It's a great habit. And I always appreciate the whole DVM family. They always prefer to join on time. I truly appreciate. Now, those who have joined, Namaskar. Namaskar, sir. How are you? Good. Raghavendra,
Thank you.
so nice. Thank you.
Namaste, ma'am.
So, Namaskar. Namaskar. I hope everyone is fine. Arunji, all good? सब ठीक है घर में अरुण जी?
हाँ हाँ बिल्कुल मैम, बिल्कुल ठीक है.
बस प्रभु की बहुत कृपा है. तो चलिए क्यों ना अभी एक आधे मिनट के लिए प्लीज हम सभी लोग वीडियो मोड पे अगर आ जाएं तो कोई बात नहीं, हाथ जोड़ें, बिल्कुल मन में माइंडफुल होके मन में जो भी ईश्वर को, जिस भी शक्ति को आप मानते हैं, और कुछ बोलने की जरूरत नहीं है. हमारे मैनकाइंड में कितने लोगों को हमारी प्रेयर्स की जरूरत है, हमारे अपने परिवार के डीवीएम परिवार के कितने लोगों को बहुत स्ट्रेंथ की जरूरत है, हमारे अपने साथियों को आंखें बंद करके अपनी पॉजिटिव वाइब्स उन तक भेजते हैं, अपनी एनर्जी उन तक भेजते हैं, ताकि वो हर स्थिति को दृढ़ता से झेल पाएं और जल्दी वापस अपनी जिंदगी में बाकी कार्यों में लग जाएं. Might remind you after my sessions that you can always have these mindful check-in session, because wherever you, anyone, and the children, those who join any session, and especially these are non-physical sessions, people are not meeting for age, it's been many months they are away from you, they would definitely feel connected, they would definitely get disconnected from the surroundings at home, or they'll be able to hold actually for that particular point of time when they are with you in your sessions, for any subject, for any reason, they would definitely get disconnected with rest of the part for the reason physically they would be in the surroundings, but they would gather enough strength to hold the surroundings impact on them. So let's practice mindful check-in. The way you sit for mindful check-in, Surekha ji, always make it a point to do it beautifully well with me. Thank you to you especially. So let's sit comfortably and sit with all your body posture in a very comfortable manner. Try to keep your spine straight. Just loosen your shoulders, feel very comfortable with your shoulders. And please close your eyes or look down. That would be better. Now, as we daily concentrate or focus on the surroundings, different sounds coming from the surroundings, try to focus on them. अपने आसपास की आवाजों पर ध्यान ले जाएं. पूरा ध्यान अपने आसपास की आवाजों की ओर. आवाजें तेज हैं, धीरे हैं, दूर से आ रही हैं, पास से आ रही हैं. सिर्फ इन पर ध्यान ले जाएं. कोई आवाज कोई आवाज अच्छी या बुरी नहीं है. पूरा ध्यान इन आवाजों पर जैसी आ रही हैं वैसे उन्हें सुनने की कोशिश कीजिए. आप अपने वातावरण के प्रति सजग हो रहे हैं. You are getting actually connected to your environment, getting alert, what all is happening around. And slowly, now take your attention towards your breath. आवाजों की तरफ ध्यान हटाकर अपना पूरा ध्यान अपनी ब्रेथ पे, सांसों पे ले जाएं. सांस आ रही है, सांस जा रही है. पूरा ध्यान अपनी सांसों पर. आंखें बंद रखें या नीचे देखें और पूरी प्रक्रिया को बहुत सहज रूप से करिए. आप अपने शरीर के प्रति, सांसों के प्रति सजग हो रहे हैं. You are getting focused. You are getting alert towards your own body, towards your breath. Breathe in, breathe out. Just feel your breath going, inhaling from the nostrils, flowing towards your throat, towards chest, and you can feel in your stomach too. Try to feel your flow of your breath. Inhale, exhale. Take a normal breath. Now, take your attention towards your sitting posture. आप जहां भी बहुत आराम से बैठे हैं, उस स्थिति को महसूस कीजिए. महसूस कीजिए. अगर आपके पांव जमीन से टच कर रहे हैं तो अपने पाँव के स्पर्श को महसूस कीजिए। Now slowly feel comfortable and open your eyes. अब आप सहजता से अपनी आंखें खोल सकते हैं। साथियों, कल मैंने आपको थोड़ा सा बताया था कि mindfulness can have varied activities. I shared with you yesterday one very important thing, if you remember, which I constantly reinforce, that whatever we do throughout the day, we do it if we can do it mindfully, whether it's mindful eating, mindful water drinking, or mindful tea meditation. If you remember, I did with you. Whatever activity you do, you are listening to your friend, you're listening to your family member, and you have given your 100% in that listening. That was an awareness I shared with you, another informal way, because the formal ways of doing mindfulness was body scan. I did with you. I did with you progressive muscle relaxation part 1, part 2. Every day we do mindful check in. Here we sit in a posture. We sit comfortably. हम क्या करते हैं डेलिब्रेट एफर्ट से कुछ वक्त निकालते हैं माइंडफुलनेस की इन एक्टिविटीज को करने के लिए। और कभी कभी ऐसा महसूस होता है सुनंदा मैम, जब आपके साथ दोपहर को करते हैं 3 से 3:30 और आप कहते हैं कि डेली प्रैक्टिस कीजिए, पर हमें मौका ही नहीं मिलता, टाइम नहीं मिलता। You might not get time throughout the day in your busy schedule to reinforce it, practice it again. But I shared with you, if you do mindful progressive relaxation at night before sleeping, you can find the change in the quality of your sleep. But that's completely your schedule. So what exactly, how should I be maximum, how should I get the I means you here, you all, how you all should get the maximum benefit of being mindful? How should I check myself that I'm mindful? I shared with you last time simple awareness towards social interaction that give 100% of your, when you are listening somebody, listen to the person, you are not occupied mentally somewhere else, and person is saying something, you heard few statements and you're ready for the reaction. You're ready with your own perceptions. You try to see every situation as a beginner. Try to listen to every conversation as a beginner. Maybe the person is trying to put very different perspective in front of you. So try to do that. Another one which I want to, another informal one, so that throughout the day I can do this. Oh my God, while making chapati in the kitchen, I was quite alert. And I was alert while making, otherwise, I used to do 2, 3 things together. But now I'm doing one thing at a time, a single tasking. I'm multi talented, but I focus on one task that gives me less stress. Try to emphasize that. Today, another very important informal practice for you, because formal I'm going to do with you just now. One more informal practice with you is awareness of impulsive and reactive patterns. Many daily patterns of ours, patterns of thinking and behavior, they are habitual in nature. Unconsciously, many a times we react on certain situations. And you can recall by the end of the day, you can recall or note it down your, if you get time, unconscious reactions you have experienced throughout the day, any events you must have experienced. For example, failing to perform something well which I thought of I would be doing like this, but I couldn't do it. it might trigger immediately in you those negative self-critical thoughts, and you start judging and comparing yourself with somebody's performance. No. The experience of sadness might actually, that feeling of sadness might catch you. You might try to attempt to push away that unwanted feeling. So that consumes a lot of energy of the body. For example, maybe you might receive a remark from any of your colleague that might cause you to raise the voice and say things that she or he might regret afterwards. So in all these examples, automatic patterns guides our behavior. So what is mindfulness? It requires awareness of these experiences. Maybe you could not stop to react at that point of time, but just be aware. How being aware? I have already said something, but how that will help me now in future? What I'm trying to say is, आपके जो डेली के सोच या व्यवहार होते हैं उसमें बहुत सी प्रतिक्रियाएं होती हैं, बहुत से ऐसे अनुभव और घटनाएं घटती हैं पूरे दिन में जिसमें हम काफी बार प्रतिक्रिया कर देते हैं. कोई चीज का हमने अच्छा प्रदर्शन करना था और वो नहीं कर पाए तो नकारात्मक सोच घेर लेती है. हम अपनी खुद का आत्म आलोचना करना शुरू कर देते हैं, ऐसे विचार आते हैं, उदासी का अनुभव होता है. और इससे क्या होता है, कोई भी हमारे किसी भी हमारे परिवारजन में किसी ने कुछ कह दिया, किसी सहकर्मी ने कुछ कह दिया, तो मन एकदम से होता है कि इस बात के तो मुझे कुछ कहना ही है, और कह दिया कोई बात नहीं. बट अब क्या है, व्हाट आई नीड टू डू, मुझे माइंडफुली उस तरफ ध्यान देना है. इट माइट बी डिफिकल्ट टू बिकम अवेयर ऑफ दीज एक्सपीरियंसेस before the onset of impulsive reaction. The reaction might come out prompt, but why I should become aware of it now? Becoming aware of them afterwards can also be beneficial because it may enhance detection of similar patterns in future and we can avoid many things. So it's very important कि अगर उन अनुभवों को हम उनकी तरफ अवगत हो जाए. अवगत होना, रिएक्शन से पहले अवगत होना, उनको पहचानना मुश्किल हो सकता है, पर जागरूक होने से फायदा क्या होगा, भविष्य में कोई ऐसा पैटर्न होगा, कोई ऐसी स्थिति होगी तो हम उस पे कंट्रोल कर पाएंगे. दिस अनदर वे ऑफ informal practice of mindfulness is called awareness of impulsive and reactive patterns. और कल हमने किया था awareness of your behavior during social interaction. Because हम कहते हैं हम हर समय mindfulness तो नहीं कर सकते मैम, तो आप जब इन बातों का भी ध्यान रखते हैं तो ये भी आप mindful हैं. आप another point which is very important I want to share with you. You must be able to, any one of you can please tell me, how many of you many a times do emotional eating? And what is this emotional hunger? Anybody can answer me if you understand what is emotional eating or emotional hunger. You would like to say something, any one of you, what is emotional hunger or emotional eating? ऐसा कभी हुआ है that any point of time you were you were tense or you were worried and you ate more than your demand of your hunger? आपको उतने खाने की भूख नहीं थी और आपने ज्यादा खा लिया परेशानी में या चिंता में. अक्सर कहा जाता है परेशानी में तो मैम भूख ही मर जाती है, बट कई बार ऐसा होता है अननोइंगली हम स्नैक्स में कुछ भी चीज इमोशनली जब स्ट्रेस में होते हैं तो कुछ ज्यादा भी खा लेते हैं बात करते करते. ऐसा कभी हुआ है या कुछ लोग बताना नहीं चाहते? ऐसा चलिए चेक करेंगे हम लोग, आज से ये चेक करेंगे इमोशनल हंगर कब हुई हमें, कब हमने वो चाय के साथ बहुत सारे स्नैक्स सोचते सोचते खा लिए और लगा कि ये तो इतनी जरूरत नहीं थी, फिर भी खा लिए, या तो स्वाद थे या किसी सोच में पड़े थे हम। तो वो हमारी फिजिकल हंगर, जो फूड का हंगर होता है, उससे हम ज्यादा खा लेते हैं। दैट इज कॉल्ड इमोशनल हंगर। अब उसका ध्यान, दिस इज अ वेरी गुड, Van Steen 1986, he actually did a good research on this. And emotional eating can be perceived as avoidance based on coping mechanism to deal with painful emotions. Hum, this is another way of, we actually opt this to deal with such painful emotions which might arise due to any painful happening. So, and why it happens? Eating generally soothe yourself, reduce the self awareness, पता नहीं चलता, हम खो जाते हैं चबाने में और उसका, and temporarily you feel that I'm doing something, and you are able to actually try to suppress your adverse emotions. So what exactly the negative consequences क्या होंगे फिर emotional eating के? It might, it is important to strengthen the ability to distinguish. मतलब if I'm mindful और मैं खाती जा रही हूँ emotional eating से, if I'll become mindful, I'll be able to stop myself that this is not my food hunger, I'm eating because this is due to my emotional hunger. So becoming mindful about which type of hunger is guiding one's action may help to develop more healthy eating habits. You can discuss these points with your family members too, and especially with the children. And this will help us to reduce our negative consequences of emotional eating. Past research on mindful practice, it has actually proved that if you are more mindful, emotional eating, chances of emotional eating are quite less. And it enhances responsiveness towards your hunger, and whatever you eat, even choice of your food becomes better if you are actually aware of your every body reaction, your feelings, your thoughts. Then your emotional hunger, chance of emotional hunger would be less. So this is another point which I wanted to share with you, that please try to focus on, try to distinguish between your food hunger of the body and your emotional hunger. Thank you. Now it's time for us, as I just pointed out, अपनी thoughts and feelings को पहचानना. क्या हो रहा है इन विचारों से मेरे दिमाग में. So let's do the activity today. I've brought for you mindfulness of thoughts. आप प्लीज अगर हो सके तो, कुछ लोग अगर कंफर्टेबल हैं तो वीडियो मोड पे आ सकते हैं. And let's start this activity, mindfulness of thoughts. And what is the purpose of this? To make you aware of your thoughts. As I shared in the last sessions, which I took the long sessions, 47% of the time our mind wanders. We get around 60 to 70,000 thoughts in a day. So ye sab thoughts, kitni thoughts ko, how I'm able to manage? Sometimes I really get entangled and get affected with the thoughts that creates some kind of feelings in the body, and that my different reactions and my actions sometimes gets affected with that. So the way teachers we sit for our mindfulness session, please sit comfortably. Just feel very comfortable. बिल्कुल आराम से बैठ जाएं, शोल्डर्स को ढीला छोड़ दें, कमर को सीधी रखें और धीरे से अपनी आंखें बंद कर लें. Sit very comfortably. Now I request you all to take 3 deep breaths and keep your eyes closed, please. Take 3 deep breaths. Now take your attention towards your thoughts. आपके मन में बहुत से विचार चल रहे हैं. अपना पूरा ध्यान उन विचारों की ओर ले जाएं. आपके मन में आने वाले जो भी विचार हैं, they might be related to past. These thoughts might be related to future. Maybe it is possible that these thoughts are related to any incident that has happened with you recently. Just try to identify. पूरा ध्यान इन विचारों की ओर. आपके विचार बीते कल के हो सकते हैं, आने वाले कल के हो सकते हैं, या अभी आपके साथ हुई किसी भी घटना से संबंधित हो सकते हैं. पूरा ध्यान इन विचारों पर. Let these different thoughts come to your mind comfortably. Let them come and go. Don't restrict any kind of thoughts. Don't categorize them as good or bad. Don't try to examine them as good or bad. Just be alert. विचारों में कोई पाबंदी नहीं. अच्छा या बुरा आंकने की कोशिश ना करें. बस इन विचारों के प्रति सजग रहें. पूरा ध्यान इन विचारों पर. जिस प्रकार आपकी सांसें अंदर और बाहर होती हैं, उस प्रकार इन थॉट्स को, इन विचारों को let them come and go. Don't try to stop any thoughts. आंखें बंद रखें और इन विचारों की ओर देखें. आपका ध्यान आसपास की आवाजों पर चला गया, कहीं और भटक गया, तो वापस अपने मस्तिष्क में आने वाले, आपके जहन में आने वाले विचारों की ओर. अब धीरे धीरे अपना ध्यान अपने बैठने की स्थिति पर ले आएं. Get your attention slowly towards your sitting position and please become aware of the environment around you. अपना ध्यान आसपास के वातावरण की ओर ले जाएं और जब आप अच्छा महसूस करें, धीरे धीरे अपनी आंखें खोल लें. Whenever you feel good, slowly open your eyes. I want to ask from any one of you, please in brief, share with me, what did you notice about your thoughts? Were you getting only one thought or multiple thoughts? Anybody can unmute and answer.
As in last sessions we have practiced this, but today also, like, we were not fixed with one thought. It was a mixture of all the thoughts, what happened, what is going on, and what we have to do, how we will do it, and how we will get into out of that situation and all. Continuous this type of thoughts. Then suddenly a sound banged around us, and we diverted our thought. Okay, now this thought has started. How to remove this? How to create this? How to
Right, right, right,
the thoughts were not in the same sequence. It was switching from one thought to other thought. It was not in one track. It was
right,
changing the tracks. So
right.
we were not able to understand that this thought is right or this thought is wrong, or what type of thoughts we are thinking of.
See,
Yes.
Meenakshi sharing might be number of people's sharing. So it's what all Meenakshi has said. I can answer in one word. It was natural and okay. We never get thoughts in sequence. It's not a project to be done one by one. Thoughts are like clouds in the sky. Nowadays it's quite a good rainy season. Watch the clouds in the sky. They will not be similar. They will not be the same at every point of time. And look at the beauty. Our thoughts are related to what happened, what is going to happen, how I am going to do this or that, fix up this or that. But when you were doing this exercise, were you able to do anything? No. So, thoughts, most of the time, our thoughts are related to past or future. So, what I am asking you people, please practice mindfulness. And every moment of time, you would see it's natural that 47% of time, even your child's mind would wander. And you might be saying, sitting at home to your own children, and might be during the taking classes, आपका ध्यान कहाँ है? Where exactly your attention is, child? Accept it. Even his or her attention is getting diverted 47% of time. So let's practice mindfulness so that when the child's attention wanders, the child knows this concept of mindfulness, that I can get back to the present moment. That is going to help me. If I'll bother about past, what has happened, that can give me only positive or negative impact, which is not required as at this point of time. And if I decide for future, let the time come, I'll be definitely be able to, what I'm doing right now, let me enjoy this present moment, which is not going to come again. And if I'm going to alert, if I'm going, what exactly says, any stimulus comes, it's a stimulus response theory, simple. Any stimulus comes, any information comes, any mail comes, any message comes, or I find myself trapped in certain situation, this stimulus actually, now I start getting bothered with this stimulus. I need to be mindfully alert. Okay, this stimulus has come, and these kind of situation, this will give you a time to think. Such kind of situations, many situations have come number of times and they have gone, and I could sail through it beautifully. That will give you that particular first faith. Then if you have not reacted much, that will not actually stretch any muscles, that will not impact any muscle of your body, because generally you don't realize that gives a kind of feeling, even your body parts start getting, that is how the stress is generated. So just be mindful. And before doing any reaction, just pause for a minute, for a second. This pause, this stimulus and reaction, this pause between the two would definitely help you to save the energy of reaction, and you will get an option to choose among the best alternative, and you would respond accordingly. So let's save this energy of reaction and stimulus ka beech mein. That will turn into response. But very important is, ye jo pehle ka socha aur aage ka socha, anything of past, anything you're planning for future, that is not the best alternative to be chosen at this point of time. At this point of time, try to see your thoughts coming and going. Don't try to distinguish. it is, we are generally in a habit of finding out ये क्या अच्छा बात याद आ गई, ये बुरी बात याद आ गई, ये अच्छी बात याद आ गई. Whatever is good or bad for you, you can recall after my session. Sometimes that particular thing was good for you, sometimes that proved to be bad for you. So let's not get tangled with this, distinguish between good or bad. With this regular practice of mindfulness, for sure, while standing in the kitchen, you would definitely remind and recall yourself, am I mindful? Am I working well with this single activity? When I'm listening to my child, am I mindful, giving my 100%? Please don't give this excuse constantly to yourself. अरे मानव के साथ तो ऐसा ही होता है, 100 काम साथ में करने पड़ते हैं, ऐसा कुछ नहीं है. You are multi-talented. In every situation, you would definitely sail through very well. But whatever you are doing, you are supposed to do that task right now. हाँ, साथ में 50 मैसेज देखने होते हैं, थोड़ा लेट हो गया मेल देखने से तो ऐसा हो जाएगा, वैसा हो जाएगा. कुछ नहीं होगा. When you're reading a mail, read that mail as it is. Let not everything have an impact on you. That's my humble request to you all. But this comes with practice. This comes with practice, regular practice. I really feel that Abhi, I could, Brij Nandan ji, I have not heard you from many days. क्या आप इस सेशन का अपना experience रखेंगे so that we can end the session, or anybody else would like to say something? आप अपनी कोई बात पूछ सकते हैं please. अरविंद कुमार गुप्ता जी, आप कुछ कहना चाहेंगे? अरविंद जी, आप जब विचारों के इस एक्सरसाइज में थे तो क्या विचारों को देख पाए? शायद अरविंद कुमार गुप्ता जी तक मेरी बात नहीं पहुंच रही है. समिता मिश्रा, एम आई ऑडिबल?
मैम.
हाँ, नमस्कार अरविंद जी. आपकी स्क्रीन में कुछ हल्का सा कुछ आ रहा है, या तो आपका हाथ आ रहा है आपके? जी, अब ठीक है, अब ठीक है जी, बहुत बढ़िया. बताइए अरविंद जी, आप एक्सरसाइज, इस एक्टिविटी को कर पाए?
जी.
कैसा लगा आपको? आप विचारों में उलझ गए या विचारों को आते जाते देख पाए?
भूतकाल में जो भी घटनाएं घटी हैं,
हाँ जी,
उस पर ध्यान गया. वर्तमान तो चल ही रहा है, और वास्तव में हम लोग को अपने भविष्य की चिंता है मैम. इस पर बहुत ज्यादा हमारा ध्यान गया.
बिल्कुल. और भविष्य की चिंता हेल्थ की सबसे ज्यादा है अरविंद जी. और आज अगर हम माइंडफुल रहेंगे तो ये जो आसपास होने वाली घटनाएं हैं ना, इनका असर हम पे कम होगा, और इस असर को हम बचा पाएंगे थोड़ा अपने ऊपर, और हमारी जो इम्यूनिटी है वो स्ट्रांग होगी. क्योंकि जो भी घटनाएं हो रही हैं सबके साथ अलग अलग हो रही हैं. हम ये ना सोचें कि हमारे साथ कुछ भी, अपने आप को अलर्ट रखना है, अफेक्ट नहीं होना है. और मेरी बहुत शुभकामनाएं हैं आपके साथ. सभी कुछ ठीक हुआ है और ठीक होगा, आप चिंता मत करिए. एनीबडी एल्स? इंद्रानी जी, यू वुड लाइक टू से समथिंग? इंद्रानी जी, आपको लग रहा है ये सेशंस आपके किसी काम आ रहे हैं? Is it going to help you anyway, these sessions?
Yes, ma'am. Definitely it will help me, ma'am. I try to do, but many unnecessary thoughts coming to mind.
It happens. It's natural. But don't get affected. Let them go, come and go as clouds. दिलीप
Yes,
झा
ma'am.
जी, आपने वीडियो ऑन की, थैंक यू. आप बताइए मुझे कि आपने एक्टिविटी की थी ये. मिस्टर दिलीप झा.
Yes, ma'am. Good afternoon, ma'am.
गुड आफ्टरनून. आप कर पाए
Ma'am,
इस एक्टिविटी
once
को?
activity which you said ki you have to scan your body. So scan your body and reflexive muscles exercise. So
जी.
at some point of time, I feel that ki the one who is observing is different from the thing they are observing. But again, that thing missed. Means we have to continue practice it.
Yeah, definitely. Everything you learn by practice. But if I could understand your answer, that when you were focusing, when you were doing body scan, or when you were practicing progressive muscle relaxation, every time you had different experience.
Yes, ma'am.
For sure, because Dilip ji, every time our actually mind frame is also different, circumstances are different, हमारा मूड डिफरेंट होता है. हम कभी कभी अपने आप से जब हर बॉडी के स्कैन, कभी हमारे कमर की पीठ में दर्द लगता है, कभी पाँव में दर्द महसूस होता है, कभी सर का दर्द महसूस होता है, जहां जहां ध्यान जाता है. और हम क्या हो रहे हैं, माइंडफुलनेस किया सुनंदा मैम, हमें तो बहुत सुकून मिलना चाहिए था, हमें तो नहीं मिला. पर फिर से मैंने एक बात बताई थी, डूइंग माइंडफुलनेस यू जस्ट डोंट हैव टू सेट एनी टारगेट फॉर योरसेल्फ. आप माइंडफुल है मतलब अपने प्रति अलर्ट हो रहे हैं कि मैं अपनी बॉडी को पहचान पा रहा हूं कि मेरे किस पार्ट में मुझे क्या होना है, अब मुझे क्या करना चाहिए. आप सिर्फ सजग हो रहे हैं, यू आर गेटिंग अलर्ट टुवर्ड्स योर दिस. Every time you will get a different experience because body behaves in a different manner and mind behaves in a different manner. Yes, Dilip ji, आगे बताइए, और भी कुछ पूछना चाह रहे हैं आप?
And at last, ma'am, feeling relaxed. Whatever the exercise we are doing, like reflexive muscles, so it is very, I mean, useful exercise. In which, when we, I mean, contracts our all the parts of the body, so, and then we release.
And you feel relaxed.
Yes, ma'am.
आप वो टेंशन को महसूस कर पाते हैं जो मसल्स में होती है, और जैसे ही छोड़ें तो टेंशन और इस छोड़ने में आपको फर्क महसूस होता है.
Yes,
इस फर्क को पहचानने के लिए, टू आइडेंटिफाई द डिफरेंस बिटवीन दिस कॉन्ट्रैक्शन एंड रिलैक्सेशन, आई बिकेम मेंटली अलर्ट. आई कुड डिस्टिंग्विश. But even after relaxation, even after loosening your this contract of muscles, you might loosen it. It might hurt you for another few seconds. You would say, oh, I'm not feeling that much relaxed. What's not? So our target is not to get relaxed. Getting relaxed, feeling good is an outcome.
Outcome, yes,
and this
ma'am.
degree of an outcome may vary from person to person. But at least while doing it, Dilip ji could identify this is contraction of, oh, my muscle get contracted. Now my muscle is little loosened. It's feeling better. So this way, whenever any situation comes in front of you, and suddenly we say our brain, I'm having headache. Just try to identify, try to mindfully see whether this particular happening is affecting me. It is my feelings are affecting my body also. You will be able to take care of the things better. You might stop the stress in future.
Yes, ma'am.
Fine. So this is be mentally alert throughout the day, and this mental alertness will support you to be away from unnecessary stress. And that's our basic purpose of doing this. Thank you, Captain Pillay. Thank you. Thanks to everyone. Thank you, Meenakshi. Thanks to all the principals. And thanks to all worthy teachers here. From the bottom of my heart, I really pray for the safety of your family, of you. Be strong enough and convey these positive vibes towards your family. Everything would be great. Please don't worry. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Sunanda, ma'am. Thank you all principals. And thank you all teachers for attending the session. See you all in the next session with new activities.
Tomorrow, if you can keep your 1 cup of tea or any biscuit with you, tea or juice is your choice, but keep some biscuits with you or anything you want to eat at that point. Let's do tomorrow mindful eating. Okay?
Okay, ma'am.
It's a short activity of mindful eating. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.